Hey everybody, it's Chad from Sticks Blog. I'm Stick. Today me and my kids right here, we're at Big Hill Pond State Park. We are actually up at a spot called Rocky Knob. Some of you may remember a couple of posts back I came out here and I was looking for this area and I finally found it, so today me and the kids came up here. It gave me a reason to, of course, to get out, get the kids outside, but also gave me a reason to carry some new items with me, and also do a post that I kind of need to do. A while back, Tony Hobbs tagged me in a my 3 favorite post, and I've been kind of putting it off, mainly because it's just been super hard for me to pick my 3 favorite as far as gear is concerned. I have a lot of gear, and I have a lot of gear that I like. Sorry, I got some small rocks and stuff underneath me. But anyway, so it's been kind of difficult for me to pick just 3 items. So this morning I decided that what I would do is I would pick my 3 items from my most recent hike, which was a 7-day hike in the Olympic National Park. By far, that has been the longest stretch of hike that I've done at one time. So I feel like I got a lot of good use out of a lot of my gear. Some of it was kind of new that I was carrying with me, but I got a lot of good use out of it. And I feel like I really kind of bonded with some of the stuff that I had. So what I want to do is today I just want to talk about my 3 favorite pieces of gear that I think that were my 3 favorite pieces of gear from that hike. Like I said, this is not one of them, but just want to give a shout out. This is my new extra small Zero pack that I just got from Z-Packs. I'm super excited with it. This is going to be my new SUL backpack that I'm going to carry because it's the right size that I need for SUL hikes in my summertime around here. So that's what I'm going to carry. Also, I've got attached to it, I don't know how well you can see it, but I've got the Peak Design Capture V2. This is the Capture Pro. I've got it attached, and I'm giving that a try today as well. There's a couple other things that I have that I'm going to give a try today. Let me just pull some of this out of here. One thing is the new Sawyer Mini water filter. I'm really impressed with this thing so far, and I'm looking forward to trying it out in the real world. I've got some containers here. Me and the kids is going to walk down the trail a little ways, and we're going to get us some water, and I'm going to play with this a little bit too. That's not what this video is about either. So, like I said, this video is about my 3 favorite. The first favorite thing that I want to talk about that I carried with me on my hike is my Light Trail Cook Kit. And to sum it up, the reason that I like this thing is because it's small. You can see how small it is, and this is everything. This is my cook pot, my drinking mug, everything inside it that I need to actually cook with, do everything. It's small, it's lightweight. For everything that's right here is 3.5 ounces. And I'll show you in just a minute. I mean, that's my lighter, that's the stove, that's cook pot, cozy, stuff sack, towel, windscreen, all that junk. So it's small and it's light, and it's also the appropriate size. For me, this is a 550 milliliter setup, and it just works for me. Not to mention it's super efficient. Like I said, on the trip I just went on, this is what I carried the 7 days in the Olympics. And I used this, of course, to make my breakfast, which really only consisted of coffee, and then my dinners, which consisted of a meal in which I would boil about 2 cups of water, and then I would also boil just about halfway, so maybe around a cup of water to make a hot tea with. And what's interesting is I was able to do a full day off of 0.5 ounces of fuel, which is a 14-gram Esbit tab. So it just really worked for me. But just to show you again what exactly it is, this is the Rudy LaCour carbon fiber lid. I've got a light load towel, or a piece of a light load towel in there. Like I said, I've got a mini Bic lighter. This is my stove. This is the titanium Esbit folding stove that comes with the kit, and it's in a Ziploc bag. This is the windscreen, and I have it just in a little Tyvek sleeve because I like to store it this way. And this is not the newest version. This is the one that you have to roll together and use paper clips to attach it. I got a pair of hot lips because, like I said, this is also my coffee cup. And then I just have this little bitty piece of scrubby, just in case I get a lot of Esbic soot or something on the bottom. If I want to, I can kind of scrub that off a little bit. Never actually used it though. It always worked really well as far as scrubbing it with on some grass or something. And then I've got 2 paper clips that I secure the windscreen together. Then of course the 550 milliliter cook pot, and this is the one without the handles, and that's why I prefer it. It's got this titanium foil ground sheet, kind of a ground protector, also kind of helps reflect heat back up. And then this is the stuff sack, or not the stuff sack, this is the little cozy that I use. I slide that in there, put my hot lips on, and then I can drink from it. And then of course I have the Cuban fiber stuff sack that it comes in. And as you saw, all that stuff fits really well inside there, so it's super compact because it's so small. And like I said, it's super light, 3.5 ounces for an entire cook kit, or a kitchen kit actually. So that's not too bad. And then there it is. Like I said, this is the Light Trail titanium solid fuel cook kit, I believe is how he has it listed. Whenever my wife got this for me for Christmas last Christmas, so I think it was $79 then, I can't remember for sure. And I don't think he has these kits in stock right at the moment, but I hope he gets some more in because I think these are really solid cook kits. I really like them. And like I said, these are Esbic is what I use to cook with, and I'm really happy with it. The next thing I want to talk about, as far as my second, and these are by no means in any kind of order. The second thing that I want to talk about that was my favorite on my recent hike is my shelter. And that is the Z-Packs Hexamid Solo Plus Tarp with a beak and the Z-Packs Hexanet. For everything that's here, including 14 stakes that I carried with me, it weighs 18.9 ounces. And keep in mind, this is a double wall shelter. Technically, it's a double wall shelter. But I'm super happy with this thing. It's very versatile. I'm able to set up just the Hexanet alone if it's not going to be rainy or if it's buggy. Or, anything like that. I can set up just the Hexanet by itself, or if I want to, if it looks like it might be a little bit rainy night but the bugs aren't bothering me, I can set up just the tarp, or if the bugs are out and it's going to rain or whatever, I can set up, of course, both pieces together. I have more than enough room for me. I'm 5 foot 10 inches tall, more than enough room for me to stretch out in this thing and get changed, sit up, move around, have a pack explosion, everything. I'm just really happy with the amount of room that I have in here. Now, amount of room is definitely a personal preference kind of thing, so I'm not suggesting that you may have the same comfort as I do inside this. Like I said, I'm 5 foot 10, and for me, it just works. So I'm not going to get into that too much. But like I said, this is the Z-Packs Hexamid Solo Plus. This is not the Solo, it's the Solo Plus, and it does have the beak on it. Of course, and it's in a stuff sack, and it's got all my guy lines. And then this is, of course, the Hexanet with the guy line as well. One other thing I want to say, I actually added 4 corner pullouts to this thing, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like that, but after this trip I found out that I do kind of like it. And what I mean by 4 corner pullouts is the old version that he sold of the Hexanet actually had the 4 pullouts. You didn't stake it to the ground. So what you did is you set everything up, and then you attached the 4 corners to the 4 corners of the Hexamed, and that is what kind of pulled it out and you got your tension from. However, what I've decided, or what I realized, is on this last hike, I didn't have, there was one night where I couldn't get one side of the Hexanet actually staked out. One side I got staked out, the other side I couldn't. But because I had those pullouts on there, I was still able to at least pull those up and kind of pull them up to the corners of the Hexamed, and that put a little bit of tension on it to help keep the mesh from just completely sagging and just being in the way. So I think it's about extra 0.4 ounces that it adds for the little tie-outs with the bungee cords and the hooks on them. And I wasn't sure, like I said, if I was going to keep them, but at this point, they're definitely going to stay. Like I said, 18.9 ounces for all of this. You can see how small it packs. I will say that I could pack this just a little bit smaller, the Hexanet, but I like having an oversized stuff sack. That way, if it's a little wet or muddy or something like that, I haven't got to try and really cram it down to get it down into a tiny stuff sack like I do my tarp. I've got a little bit of extra room to kind of move around there and work with. So I like that. Also, I found that for me, this width fits in my backpacks really well rather than having a smaller, tiny ball like this. Actually, the way I carried this on my recent hike, my tarp was actually down in the side pocket on one of my side pockets on my backpack, which was the Blast 30. And then this I had on the side, and I used the 2 compression straps to actually hold this to the side. So both of these components were actually outside my pack the whole time, which is nice. That way when I get to camp, if it's rainy or something like that, I don't have to unpack my entire backpack. I've got everything right here on the side of the pack, on the outside of the pack, ready to go. So anyway, I would say that's my second favorite. And then my last favorite item that I want to talk about is kind of a surprise. This is the ProLite 3 small sleeping pad. And guys, I've got to tell you, I was very, very happy with this sleeping pad on my hike. I promise you, and I'm not just saying this, I promise you that each night on that hike, I slept better out in the woods than I ever have on any other hike. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was just I didn't feel quite as unnerved because of the large group. There were 8 of us on the hike. So maybe I didn't feel quite as unnerved. I'm not sure. But I have slept better each night on that hike than I did any other nights when I've been out hiking, backpacking. And the thing about the ProLite is first off, this is only 11.2 ounces. So it's lighter than most of my other pads. Granted, it is a small size pad. I believe it's 47 inches. So it's really kind of only a torso length pad, a little bit more than a torso length pad. But what I did is I used this for basically my head down to a little past my butt, and then my backpack or my 1/8 inch Cosmo Gear Thin Light pad served as kind of the foot part. Because this thing is only 1 inch thick when it's blown up, I did not feel any sort of leg drop whatsoever. What's cool about this thing is it's made out of a tough material. I can't remember, maybe 70D, 75 denier or something like that, but it's a pretty tough material, not quite as fragile as my X-Lite. So I don't have as high of a concern about actually or accidentally puncturing this, although I still do just like I do for any other pad. I make sure I check the ground, make sure I don't have anything that's sharp or might potentially damage my pad before so. And of course I carry a repair kit like I believe that anybody should with any air pad. I don't care what it is. But anyway, guys, I've just got to say, I mean, it's easy to blow up. It is self-inflating, but I did blow it up by mouth for the most part each night. It fits well in my backpack. I just don't know. One thing I really like about this, I'm more of my personal preference as far as sleeping pads are I like to have a flat, smooth surface if possible. And I think that's why I like the X-Lites or the Neo Airs so much as opposed to the vertical baffle ones like the Big Agnes or the Exped, stuff like that. To me, I just feel better with more of a flat surface underneath me. And this pad, when it's blown up, is a completely flat surface. So I really like it. This is definitely going to be coming with me on more of my hikes. I will say one thing. A couple of the nights I did feel a little bit of coolness, what it felt like coming from underneath me. So I'm not sure. I think that in the cold months I would definitely have to add another sleeping pad underneath me when using this one just to help kind of boost the R value. But otherwise, I'm super happy with it. Can't be happier. And also, this was actually a what do they call it? Let me look here. An irregular. I don't know if you can see that, but it says irregular right there. I got this from Camp Saver for like 47 bucks. They're normally about 80 bucks, I think, for the size small. So I got it for almost half price. So I was pretty excited about that. So anyway, Tony, I'm sorry it took me so long to get back to you with this tag, but like I said, I was struggling going back and forth on what my 3 favorite was. So anyway, guys, that's my 3 favorite from my most recent hike. And despite that it's from my most recent hike, altogether these 3 items are very high up on my list with all of my other gear as well. Anyway, I'd like to give a huge shout out, say thanks to Tony for tagging me in this. As well, if you haven't checked out any of sorry Tony, if you haven't checked out any of Tony's videos, be sure to do that. He's got a YouTube channel, and I'll link it down below. I may even put a little tag up in the top where you can click to get to his page. But anyway, I definitely suggest you check out his stuff. He's across the pond. He's always going out to Dartmoor and places like that. Also, for those of you that don't know, if you have any questions about Mountain Laurel Designs gear, Tony is the man to go see, because he's got his mountain. Me and him joke about each other. He's usually giving me a hard time about Z-Packs, and I'm usually giving him a hard time about Mountain Laurel Designs. Either way, though, both companies are outstanding in my book. I would highly recommend either one of those companies. But anyway, and then also, in light of keeping this tag going, I got to think of 3 people. No. I want to tag 3 more people. As far as what's your 3 favorite. The first person I want to tag as far as what's your 3 favorite is going to be Brian Green. Just want to see what his 3 favorite are. Some of you may remember he recently tagged me in my 3 favorite bushcraft items, which was kind of a hard tag for me to do because I'm not a big bushcrafter. But anyway, Brian Green from Brian's Backpacking Blog. I'm tagging you. Who else? The second person I want to tag is going to be Barefoot Jake, and I'm really interested to see what he says. As many of you may know or likely know, he is the one that recently led us on our basically our Olympics National Park hike that I keep talking about. Super cool guy, big barefoot guy. He likes to wear the Vibrams, which is what I'm wearing now, but he does a little more minimalist than I do. But anyway, be sure to check out Barefoot Jake's website too. But also I'm tagging you, Barefoot Jake, to see what your 3 favorites are. And then the last person I want to tag is JJ from Jerem's Outside. I know I actually got to go on a hike with her for one hike. It was a little while back. We did a little section up. I actually finished the Georgia section of the AT on a hike with her. But she's pretty cool. She's got a lot of good information over on her site, which, like I said, is Jerem's Outside. If you haven't checked out her site, be sure to go and check her site out. But JJ, I'm tagging you in this post as well to see what your 3 favorite items are. Also, in keeping true to what Tony did, I really enjoyed his favorites. If you haven't watched his favorites, be sure to go back and watch his video. I'll also post a link up there to it. But he had some really interesting and really original favorites, and I really enjoyed those. So in keeping in tune to the way he did it, Brian, Barefoot Jake, and JJ, it doesn't have to be 3 pieces of favorite gear. Just 3 favorites. However you want to do it, just feel free to take it from wherever you are. Anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody for watching, and if anybody else would like to, feel free to make your own response video to this and tell me what your 3 favorites are, and I'll be sure to include links to those on my blog write-up, and we'll just see where this goes. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you have any comments, questions, feel free to post those in the video or in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to get back to you, answer any question you may have, or reply to any of the comments. And guys, I appreciate you watching. I'm going to not point my fingers at you anymore. See you later. 1, 2, go.
Bye.
Bye.